Welcome back into the show. Let's shift over to Delaware, where the playoffs are getting underway tonight. First round of the DIAA. We're going to start in the Class 2A. Lake Forest, a 6 seed, playing host to 11-seeded DMA. Check out the connection here for the Seahawks. Brian Aliene with the jump pass out to Odell Teal, and he could go all the way for the touchdown, and he does. We are tied early in the second quarter. Jonathan Tyndall had a great connection with Jameer Snell. A big pass play here for the Spartans. He races down the sideline. Look at him right there. It looks like he's going to be able to score a touchdown, but he's going to get caught by the safety. That stopped right there. He tried to make the pass, but he gets knocked out of bounds. He would come up just short of the touchdown. Spartans unable to punch it in. But on the final play of the quarter, Tyndall drops back and flicks it over to Kai Rivera for the touchdown. Lake Forest takes a 20-14 lead as they head into the final quarter. Now, Aliene had another answer for the visiting Seahawks. He finds the hole and takes off. It's going to be a 67-yard rushing touchdown. Look at that. He's wide open. No one's going to catch him. The point after was blocked. High drama and Felton tied at 20. The Spartans go marching down the field. Plenty of action for the big man, Aiden Young, the sophomore, coming up clutch on the final drive. And in the end, it was Tyndall with the ball on the 4-yard line as he finds an opening and dives in. Touchdown, Spartans. Lake Forest veteran experience wins the game. The Spartans take it 27-20. Now over to the 1A, the top-seeded Laurel Bulldogs hosting St. Andrew. And as expected, things got ugly early on. Kylese Wilson puts Laurel ahead by 2 scores in the first quarter. More bark from the Dogs and more bite, this time on defense. Braden Hurd has been a nuisance for the opposing offensive lines all season. He breaks up this play in the backfield to force yet another punt. Bulldogs back in the red zone, and there he goes. The give goes to the horse. Kylese Wilson pounding his way through the defense. With that, the Dogs were up by 20. Patrick Bell gets the handoff off the middle. A bit of insurance for Laurel. The Bulldogs win easily, 41-7, and it's off to the semifinals for the defending champs. And now Smyrna played Cape Henlopen tonight. A monster game for Smyrna. They win 50-0. Smyrna moves on to the state semifinals with that shutout over Cape Henlopen. Again, 50-0. And St. Elizabeth squeaks by Indian River, 32-21. Indian River gave St. Elizabeth a great fight tonight. They've showed a lot of fight all season, but unfortunately for them, their season ends in the first round. Again, St. Elizabeth is really good, but the Vikings were just too tough for them. And as for tomorrow, there are 3 more games going on the docket. Seaford will be at Charter at noon. Then 2 games taking place tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Delmar is at Red Lion in a 2-way matchup. And finally, we have, Sussex Central and Dover at the Castle. Winners play St. George's in the 3A semifinals. So let's talk for a few minutes about the playoff picture in Delaware. Smyrna moves on to the semifinals. They play the winner of Sally's in Middletown. But the big news is in the 3A, and that could be the winner of tomorrow night's game between Central and Dover. And that game could have a clear path to the finals, and the winner will play 7th-seeded St. George's. Again, Smyrna and Dover have played before. Smyrna shut out Dover earlier in the year, 21-0. So let's see if things will change in the first round of the DIAA. Now, in the 2A, Lake Forest will travel to play Wilmington Friends next week. Again, Lake Forest has had a pretty good season. They finished the year, I believe, 8-2, and that's much better than how they finished last year. And now they're back in the playoffs, and they're still alive, this time in the semifinals. Again, Friends is always tough defensively, and Laurel will host the winner of Odessa and Tatnall in the semifinals. And if Seaford's defeats Charter, they will get the challenge of playing St. Elizabeth next week. I've gone to a couple of their Seaford games. They've been up and down all year, but again, they have explosive offensive firepower as long as everyone is healthy, and they may be able to give St. Elizabeth a run for their money because, again, St. Elizabeth was one of the other 2 top teams in the 1A. We've been talking about Laurel all season, and Laurel's been a monster. St. Elizabeth only won by 11 over Indian River, and Indian River has been a really scrappy team all year, but only 11-point win for St. Elizabeth over Indian River might show that St. Elizabeth might be a little bit vulnerable right now. And let's see if the Blue Jays, if they win tomorrow and they can match up against St. Elizabeth, if they have the ability to kind of, break open that crack in the armor that St. Elizabeth has. But again, it's very early on in the playoffs. We'll see. We'll have all those games for you tomorrow. Again, Delaware playoffs, Maryland playoffs. I mean, where else would you want to be besides Delmarva Sports Insider? Now, We got to talk about the chilly weather we had this week. I mean, again, it was 40 degrees out there in Stevensville. I was freezing, but will it be staying for the weekend? We check in with Chief Meteorologist Rich Werdzik for a look at your forecast. And also, one local school saw a boost in funding thanks to a federal grant. Hear how they plan to put that money to good use.
Hi, my name is Braden Hearn. I play for Laurel High School football, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.